Hey, listeners, well, how do you lead a team when you have no experience in their industry or field? Now, that question challenges a lot of new leaders, but the answer may surprise you. It's not about having all the answers, it's about how you show up to lead. So let's discuss.
Welcome to Leadership is Changing. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change. This is taking your leadership to another level by finding the balance between executive excellence and personal well-being through stories that inspire real change. It's time to adapt in our fast-moving world when leadership is changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos.
Welcome to the Ask Denis episode. This is a freestyle episode where I'm asked a question by our listeners or share my thoughts, experiences, and insights from working with many leaders around the globe. Well, welcome to the Leadership is Changing podcast. I'm your host, Denis Gianoutsos, and whether you're a seasoned leader or stepping into a new role, this podcast is here to help you lead in today's changing world. Well, today's question comes from someone special. My nephew, Patrick, and he's staying with us at the moment, and he asked me this question. How can you lead a team when you don't have experience in their specific field or industry? Awesome question, Patrick. And so here's the thing. Many leaders are trying to be everything to everyone, and they think they have to have all the answers. Well, they don't. In fact, it's not expected. But leadership today is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about setting direction, creating space for others to grow, and empowering your people to deliver. That's what great leadership looks like. So if you're leading a team in a space that's unfamiliar, well, the good news is don't panic. Let's walk through how you can still lead effectively and powerfully even without field-specific experience. Now, what I'm going to share with you today, I want to ask you to be smart. Be real smart about things, okay? And really listen to what actually has been said here, because for some leaders, they don't get it. For some leaders, they think they have to know all the answers and be everything to everyone, and no one else can do anything else without you actually listening to them or following them or waiting for them. So I'm going to go through some different areas just to help you understand a little bit more. Number one is focus on leading people, not knowing everything. Leadership isn't about being the technical expert. It's about influencing outcomes, aligning your team, and helping people succeed. Now, when you walk into a new environment, your role isn't not to master the programming code or the machinery or the marketing funnel. Your job is to set clear vision, create trust and psychological safety, empower others to lead in their domain, and keep people focused on the outcomes, not the noise that's around them. Now, you don't need to be in the weeds. You need to be the one pulling everyone out of them when they get stuck. So number one is focus on leading people, not knowing everything. Number two is lead with curiosity and humility. So when you're stepping into an unfamiliar territory, the thing or the word curiosity is going to be your greatest asset. Start by saying, I don't know, but I'm here to learn. Then prove it by listening and asking thoughtful questions and learning from those around you. Once again, be smart and listen to what I'm saying here, because it's really important. Prove it to them by listening, asking thoughtful questions, and learning from those around you. Now, this approach will actually help you build rapport with the team, shows respect for their expertise, and demonstrates confidence without ego. It's not a weakness. It's a leadership maturity. Your ability to do it shows maturity. And when your team sees that, they'll be more likely to open up, collaborate, and follow your lead. So number two is lead with curiosity and humility. Here's number three. bring strategic leadership, not technical answers. So you weren't hired to do their job. You were hired to lead them. So focus on connecting the dots across departments or goals or initiatives, seeing patterns others might miss. You're bringing in some fresh eyes, making strategic decisions that align with the bigger picture, and creating a high-performing team culture. Because when you bring strategic leadership, you free your team to focus on what they do best, while you keep the whole machine moving forward. So number 3 is bring strategic leadership, not technical answers. Well, here's the last one. Number 4, surround yourself with trusted experts. You don't have to know everything, as I said earlier on, but you do need to know who to turn to. So the smart thing here would be for you to build a tight-knit leadership team. Identify your key experts. Make sure responsibilities are clear and feedback flows freely. Encourage them to share insights and to share them early. Speak up with concerns and encourage them to offer alternative perspectives. Your success as a leader is directly tied to how well you support and enable your experts to thrive. And you know what? I've got a bonus one for you. So, number 4 was surround yourself with trusted experts. Well, here's the bonus. Number 5 is set direction, not instruction. Your role is to clarify the what, in other words, what we're doing, and the why, in other words, the big picture, the vision, and let the experts figure out the how. When your team understands the direction, the purpose behind the work, and the outcomes you're aiming for, they'll take ownership and innovate with confidence. I've got to say this one thing here to you listeners. Micromanagement isn't leadership. Empowerment is leadership. And because you're here today on this episode, I'm going to give you one more bonus. So this is a bonus on top of the bonus, and this is number 6. Are you ready for it? Communicate, communicate, communicate. Early communication builds trust. Frequent communication keeps everyone aligned. Now, every time I ask people, what makes change or leadership successful or fail? The one thing that comes out every single time is communication. Where there is enough of it, where there's the good quality, in other words, there's good quality communication, or that there's not enough of it, or they don't telling us everything, or it's not actually very clear. That's what makes everything successful or fail is communication. Communicate, communicate, communicate. So make sure you hold regular one-on-ones and team check-ins. Number 2 would be set expectations clearly. Number 3, share your learning journey transparently. Number 4, celebrate small wins along the way. And if you're ever unsure, say this: I don't know, but I'll find out. The honesty goes a long way with people. But there's a catch. Make sure you go back to them and tell them what you found out. Because if you don't, trust and credibility will go out the window. So the bonus is communicate, communicate, communicate. You don't have to be the subject matter expert to be the leader your team needs. People don't need you to know everything. They need you to believe in them, back them, and guide them. So to Patrick and to any leader out there stepping into unfamiliar ground, remember this. You were chosen to lead, not to have all the answers. Step in with clarity, humility, and vision, and let your leadership do the heavy lifting. All right, your call to action this week, your listeners, is if this episode struck a chord with you, share it with another leader who might be stepping into a new challenge. And as always, lead well, stay curious, and keep adapting, because leadership is changing, and so must we. Hey, listeners, that's it for this episode. It's always a pleasure being with you. Thanks for joining me on the Leadership is Changing podcast. Until next time, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Leadership is Changing with your host, Denis Gianoutsos. Each week, we and our guests provide information and insights through exploring leading change, inspiring executives and leaders to adapt and lead a bigger game in a fast-moving world.